She was going to clear this.
You want me to explain something?
Back in 71, I was training other pilots to go to Nam, and I was looking at home, looking at the sky at noon, and I saw this ball of light up there. It wasn't an airplane, it was a ball of light. And I said, what's the purpose of all this, basically? And a voice said, do you really want to know? I said, yeah, and kind of cocky, you know?
Yeah.
And then a beam starts coming down, but it wasn't like a flashlight beam. When you turn it on, it went straight. It started, silver spheres started coming in to form the beam. It started coming down at me, and I looked at it, and I said, no, I don't want to know. And then it went back. And before it got back to the original white ball up there, silver ball, the being said, I thought you were Marine. And I said, oh, okay, yeah, I want to know. And then it just came screaming down. It called in silver spheres to form the beam, hit me right there, opened up, and I'm looking up this tube of silver crystalline light. And there's a being behind a desk, and he says, he's ready, he's ready. And then behind that being, there's another being behind the desk, so it looked like a desk, and probably something else. And he said, he's ready, he's ready. Way beyond that, where the ball of light was, an eyeball looked down there and said, no, he's not ready yet. And then the beam went, pew, just dispersed this way. Pew, pew, pew. Went away. I asked the question, what's the purpose of this? Right? So in 1986, I'm laying in bed, and I asked the same thing. What's the purpose of this? That's when they lifted me out of bed, bent me in half. So they wanted me to say that to you, ask for your purpose. February 10th, something's going to happen. They said that in the last channeling up at Flagstaff, which is next week. I asked what's the purpose of all this. I didn't ask what my purpose was. I just want to know what the hell was going on. You'll get an answer. You just got to be willing to accept it. The event can make you go, whoa, 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 wait, you know. And then when you do that, they disperse. But then you got to really open. Okay, I'm ready. Just accept it. Okay. All right. So I got that part done. Okay. How come this thing? Recording. Oh, it is recording. Okay, so I'm going. They wanted me to say that. And the other thing was, they will stop. You can't define your purpose. It's already defined for you. You have to just be willing to accept it, even though you think it's bizarre. You know, because I certainly did. Okay, I'm getting going. Just for your awareness. The Christ consciousness has said recently, prepare yourselves for I'm coming in the next few weeks. This is an evaluation of what is termed your worth. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And this is going to be brought in front of once. What has been done or not, basically. Because you have made you beings call it an agreement, but it's much more than that. It's basically an eternal commitment. And within that there's a responsibility. And the responsibility is within the doing, which is the example of your worth. You're in a condition now. We're going to be sitting that. Understanding ignorance is one thing, because eventually there can be a learning process there. Teaching and wisdom can be gained. Yet you're going to come in contact with those that do not want that. And they know why. Because there's no worth there. There isn't. And they're looking for attachments to vampire others' worth. It's not, they don't suck your bloods. They're much more devious than that. They move through your auric field and this is difficult because you're not aware of how your aura works. You have each chakra broadcasts an auric field, and you have 7 layers. And each layer has a development of personality, and the oversoul of you call it the oversoul, the thinking portion of you that understands the body and the pain and not pain, conditions and works with the 7, unification. Get over the argument phase within the self. Well, these vampiric beings, in physical consciousness, are aware of the layers of your aura. And they have not an advantage, but they apply telepathic influence more than you are used to working with. Because you beings are not aware where your thoughts are coming from, which direction, up, down, inside, outside. But you're going to become aware, and you're going to see the result of the receiving and acceptance of those thoughts. You're in this seed phase of yourselves. Now the reason we're bringing this up for these beings here, these healing modalities that you are committed to, though you might not know it. The let's say initiatory phase of what you beings would call magic healing, Not so much manipulation of the body, but a command of the negative forces to leave, basically. Exorcisms, you call it, but it's more than that. It's an education process for the unit of being inside. You were a fetus, you knew you were a fetus outside of the fetus. You saw the development of the fetus outside of the fetus. You were in the sperm of your father swimming to the egg, competing with other entities and the other sperms. More than one sperm comes out. Within each one, there's a thought there that comes through in the sexual activity. There's a pristine promise. Pristine promise. The speedier the sperm swimming is the one that gets to the egg first. It's an impulse, impetus. That's you. Did you forgot it? You're the swimming sperm from your father. Developed fetus from your mother. Seed, born, manifested human. You're still the seed. You're about to be birthing. When you were a fetus, you saw your fetus. You come out and you have realization body human. No longer fetus, but have a grown thing. Result thing. You have that process now going on within everyone on your planet. The seeds are either going to rot or they're going to bloom. And what it does, it opens each chakra. There's flower petals. It affects the shoulders, particularly, and affects your hips, back portion. The seed, when it blooms, does not look like a seed anymore. The fetus does not look like the sperm and the egg. The human condition does not look like a fetus. Yet the human condition enjoys the breath. Of freedom. A singular unit outside of the fetus. Because when you're in the womb, you can't do anything. You can move a little bit. And you're subject to the energies coming through the mother's belly. Thoughts, sounds, everything. And within there, you learn to shut off, turn on, turn off. You are in that embryonic stage now, in consciousness. We're going to call it consciousness, because you're learning how to think, basically, again. You're not aware of where your thoughts come from. You're not aware of where your mind is yet. But I'll tell you where it is. Your mind is your body. It's what you've done with the brain function and produced a manifested body form. The body is your mind. That's why we've been saying health, the body, mind, and spirit. The mind is the result of your thought processes. Healthy or not, you're the one who has accepted belief systems, basically of not self, basically of not worthiness of self. If you can breathe, you have worth. It just needs to be demonstrated, and the demonstration is in the doing. The demonstration is in the doing. Because your body, physical body, which is your mind, wants to perform correctly. But you're being adjudicated. By that I mean you're being judged by your peers, reacting to their comments when they haven't done anything. Now is not the time to move into complaints, because complaint is going to be a restraint. in the process of your blooming. And what you will do, as some beings, babies born imperfect, you will create an imperfect force form in one of the chakras that you're reacting to. Don't react. You command from the Lord God of your being peace to all beings, because that is talking you, number one, to your cellular structure, because there are many beings in there. Your heart is a being, your lungs are beings, kidneys are beings, stomach, all of the organs came from the same seed. You're going through that process now. If you can understand this in your sleep state, while you're physical, part of the condition as it evolves, there's this fear energy that works upon you. And it creates what is termed a death spiral. Some of these concepts are easily understood, that the social consciousness does not work with that in those realms. If you could communicate daily with each chakra to the being that is in there, the little one, there's one in each chakra, and then you'll find you have a littler one that's in the heart, right where the four chambers meet. The brilliant white light, dazzling brilliance. If it came forth in the immediate, you'd disappear into particles of light and have to know how to reunite. The hearts are going to get an introduction to another level of consciousness. If I was going to say, peace of your moment is not understood, you're going to have disturbance in the heart. And the peace of the moment is within the self, within the consciousness of self. You are walking, literally, wherever you go, in a river of thought. You need to get above the river in a boat, if you need to. And there are ones that go above the river in a boat and throw nets over the side for the fish of thought of fish, to gather into the boat. My suggestion is, don't throw the net. Call the thoughts you wish to participate with in your boat. And if you are correct, it'll come. But if you throw a net, you're going to get things you don't want. And that's what's going on telepathically now, for those that are playing in it. They're throwing nets and confusing ones. The entity, Jesus and the Christ, of course, cast demons into pigs. Because the demons were interfering with the human condition and trying to enter humans through the flesh, not just to participate, but to take over and control. And once we're becoming enthralled with it. The pig flesh is very close to human flesh. And he conducted him into that form. And that's what is occurring now in your consciousness. You're going to see, and it might be disturbing to some, what beings really look like in their consciousness. You're going to begin to observe what possession does in the flesh. There are going to be ones walking and they're going to strike you and you're going to see that they're bovines. Bovine means not of the vine, but you turn pigs. You're in an education process to understand the worth of you, not the worth of others. And the worth of you is done in the doing. And what's going to be accentuated, particularly with the three of you, is the healing thing. It's going to come out. You might have to assume a different posture, but it's not totally you doing it, it's what you term the Christ force coming through you. It'll come through your back. Because he knows your planetary systems and your agreements, your astrological charts there. Each planet has two forces, a spiritual force and an intelligent force. The spiritual force is trying to educate, and is educating, the intelligent force. Because those who use that word intelligent is not. It needs to be educated by the spiritual force. Intelligence is, in your words and understanding, is not pure. Argumentative, definitive, defensive, sense of superiority. Causes confusion in others with this thing of smarter than. If you're breathing, you're under the spiritual force. And now what's occurring from your astrological chart, because as you come forth here, you skip on every planet for contracts and energy. And the one you should pay attention to now is Jupiter, where it's placed in your astrological chart. The spirit of Jupiter. The spirit of Jupiter represents, in your understanding, the spirit of God that you contracted with. The energy of the house is the influence that you signed with. And it's here to help you. The sign it's in is the power behind it. You're going to find out where your stars come from, besides being put out from down here up there. Everything came through the black hole by Sirius. All of your stars. That includes you down here. Pushed down. Not an explosion. It was a breath. One breath for everything you see in your starry heavens. And the other thing you're going to find out, the reason the stars shine is because you're making them shine. You recognize them, you're acknowledging them from the interior portion of your being. The reflection back is a shine to you if they acknowledge you. It's not a conversation, as you say. It's a receptive understanding of the appreciation of yourself. It's still a seed and growing. Those of you that are waking up from your fetus seed position in the human condition are going to become responsible for the perpetuation of species, life. The order of it. And as you're changing, the animals recognize it. Nature recognizes it. Nature's all around, everywhere. She is nature. She is a being. Everything moving and flying within her is hers, the manna. She's the one that flies the birds. And then you have a one that moves the wind. But beings are confused about the wind's force, the wind's purpose. What you're going to begin to understand is God walks in front of the wind looking around, and he pulls the wind to clean what needs to be cleaned, to make aware of what needs to be made aware of. You're going to see dramatic increases in your wind. Contemplate the Father in the stillness before the wind, and prepare to take cover. Because you'll know what your thoughts were then, and there's a cleansing coming. In the serious nature of the ability to think, to receive and understand thought. Now your little one, the littlest one of the seven you have here, the littlest one is in the heart, we said. That's the littlest one. That's the most brilliant one. That's the one that's coming forth, or has a desire to come forth, as you did as a fetus to come out.